Welcome back to another episode of DAS with your boy, Sean Mack. And today we're going to be discussing the sad and tragic tale of Chris Benoit. On June 25th of 2007, a welfare check was requested by his employer. At Benoit's house, they found him, his wife Nancy, and their 7-year-old son Daniel, dead, apparently murdered by Chris. To me, this is a tale of CTE in the WWE. So if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the video. So let's go. On June 25th of 2007, police entered Benoit's home in Fayetteville, Georgia, when WWE, Benoit's employer, requested a welfare check after Benoit missed weekend events without notice, leading to concerns. The officers discovered the bodies of Benoit, his wife Nancy, and their 7-year-old son Daniel at around 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Upon investigating, no additional suspects were sought by authorities. It was determined that Benoit had committed the murders. Over a 3-day period, Benoit had killed his wife and his son before committing suicide. His wife was bound before the killing. Benoit's son was drugged with Xanax and likely unconscious before Benoit strangled him. Benoit then committed suicide by hanging himself on a Ladd pull-down machine. The toxicology report released on July 17th of 2007 revealed at the time of her death, Nancy had 3 different drugs in her systems: Xanax, hydrocodone, and hydromorphine, all of which were found in a therapeutic rather than toxic levels. Their son Daniel was found to have Xanax in his system as well, which led the chief medical examiner to believe that he was sedated before the murders. Benoit was found to have Xanax, hydrocodone, and an elevated level of testosterone caused by a synthetic form of hormone in his system. The chief medical examiner attributed the testosterone level to Benoit's possibly being treated for a deficiency caused by previous steroid abuse or testicular insufficiencies. But there was no indication that anything found in Benoit's body contributed to his violent behavior that led to the murder-suicide, concluding with there was no, quote, roid rage, end quote, involved. Prior to the murder-suicide, Benoit had illegally been given medication not in compliance with the WWE's Talent Wellness Program in February of 2006, including nidrolone, an anabolic steroid, and Nastrozolo, a breast cancer medication which is used by bodybuilders. During the investigation into the steroid abuse of the WWE, it was revealed that other wrestlers had also been given this steroid. After the double murder-suicide, neuroscientist and retired professional wrestler Christopher Nowinski contacted Michael Benoit, Chris's father, suggesting that years of trauma to his son's brain may have led to his actions. Tests were concluded on Benoit's brain by Julian Bayless, who is head of neurosurgery at West Virginia University, and results showed that Benoit's brain is so severely damaged it resembled the brain of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient. He was reported to have an advanced form of dementia, similar to the brains of 4 retired NFL players who had multiple concussions, sank into depression, and harmed themselves and others. Bayless and his colleagues concluded that repeat concussions can cause dementia, which can contribute to several behavioral problems. Benoit's father suggested that his brain damage may have been the leading cause for his action. Instead of getting help and bringing awareness to this situation, once the details of Benoit's actions became apparent, the WWE made the decision to remove nearly all mention of Benoit from their website, future broadcasts, and all publications. Looking at you, Vince. I'm looking at you, Vince. Looking at you. Time to take up the mantle and do what you're supposed to do and do what's right by these wrestlers. Remember, if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the channel and hit those notification buttons so you get our notifications when we drop our videos. As always, I got some notes here. I got 4 today, maybe 5. We'll see how it goes. Number 1, the sports world and the wrestling fans don't take the trauma and the drug use that's in the WWE and wrestling as serious as other sports. Some people don't consider it a sport. I consider it a sport. It's taxing on your body. You get paid for it, and you have to do it more than these guys that play other sports. You're pretty much on the tour. You're on the circuit wrestling almost every night. We don't take it as serious because we grew up watching these guys, and they're like superheroes to us. You know, these guys are like superheroes. So we only see them for what they do when they perform on Saturdays and Sundays and Wednesdays and Mondays and every other night that they wrestle. We don't really see them as regular human beings. We see them as something subhuman. We see them as like a Street Fighter character, or like a Strider, or somebody, a Ninja Turtle. We see them as like characters when we're younger. Then as we get older, we kind of we still visualize them as Street Fighter characters, or like some type of character that's in a movie, like Superman, or like an X-Men, or like any of the Marvel characters. We see them like that because we've been watching them since we were young. So we don't think about their mental health, and we don't think about the things and the problems that they go through. Number 2, CTE is probably more widespread in wrestling than any other sport, in my opinion. Reason I say that is because these guys, they rehearse, they're thumping their heads, they're thumping their bodies. In the ring on fight night, they thump their bodies, they thump their heads. They're doing all type of moves, they're being hit. And I know it's supposed to be staged and like you're doing like this, but sometimes those hits, you can't fake hopping from a top rope onto some table and breaking the table when somebody's on the table. I know it might not be as painful as it looks, and they over exaggerate it, but sometimes they're in pain as well. And I think that CTE needs to be taken care of, just how like the NFL is doing, you know, like other sports is doing. Soccer, I think soccer actually has the most cases of concussions in any other sport, which makes sense because you're hitting the ball with your head and you're doing all types of stuff, and you're getting kicked sometimes in the head. My daughter plays soccer. She's a goalie. A few nights ago, she came home, her stomach was hurting. She's going to go to college for playing soccer, hopefully Temple University. But she got hit in the stomach with the ball that was kicked real hard at close range, and she was complaining about stomach pain. So it's always a lot of things that go on in soccer, but I'm pretty sure that CTE is more rampant in wrestling than any other sport. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I think it's probably second to me behind soccer. Number 3, I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon knows about the information that's leading to the CTE and all the problems that he's having with people after they post-career and during their career sometimes. But he don't want to acknowledge it because he know for sure that's $1 million or $1 billion lawsuit, just like what happened to the NFL. So he's trying to, all of a sudden, I know he's trying to avoid that. I know he's trying to avoid that like the Black Plague, as they say. But eventually it will come to light, and he will have to pay for it. Not sure when, but I will be here for it, because he's just making money off of these people's backs while he's paying them pretty much peanuts. Pretty sure they get paid your high top level, top 10 people get paid, your Rocks and your people like that. But for other people like Chris, I'm pretty sure he wasn't paid enough, as of all the old wrestlers that wasn't paid enough. Your Junkyard Dogs, your Vine Erics, the people that the sport was built off of their backs. They don't get paid. They didn't get paid. Some of them died tragically, and I'm pretty sure their family's not going to get paid. I'm pretty sure Vince just isn't reaching out, taking care of all them people, similar to the Army, National Guard, or any other service that we have in America. We get us while we're young, they use us up, and then you're fighting for your veterans pension and your paycheck and stuff like that. Pretty sure that's going on. Let me get on out of here. I won't keep you long. That was number 3. We on to number 4. As I said earlier, as I just stated, eventually the dirty details about CTE will come to light, and I'm predicting it right now. It will be the biggest sports story ever to hit the national eyes in sports. This will be the biggest sports story ever, is what I'm saying. When it hits, it's going to hit hard, and you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I've been waiting for it for a long time because I feel like these guys just don't get they just do. In certain situations like this happened with Chris Benoit into his wife Nancy and his son Daniel, 7-year-old son. I don't want to harp much on what happened with them because we know it was a horrible situation, and they died in an unhumane, cruel way over 3 days. Chris was in that house and things happened. But like I say, I'm here for it. I'm here for it because it's known to me ever since I was young, early 80s, watching your Kamalas and your Junkyard Dogs and your Hacksaw Jim Duggins. So it's been a very dirty sport from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s, 2000s, and to up to today, up until now. It's been a dirty sport. You got the steroids, you got the drug use, and the only reason that comes about is because a guy's on the circuit, like what happened with Brody. You know, he's on the circuit. You're working. You need some type of medication to help you out because your body's in such pain. Before you know it, you're hooked on some type of codeine or odine or mifodobine. You're hooked on those, and then you officially, you don't really recognize it, but now you're a drug head, you're a drug addict, and it just then now you're in another fight. So it's always like these guys have been fighting their whole lives. I compare this sport to like the Olympics. Like, you know, it's right up there with the dirtiest sports to me in the world, just like the Olympics. It's known for being dirty and all the crazy stuff that goes on in it. But I just want to say rest in peace to Chris Benoit. Rest in peace to his wife, Nancy, and rest in peace to his 7-year-old son, Daniel. I'm sorry that had to happen to you. I wish someone could have got to you, Chris, and got you some help, being that you were dealing with concussions and you were dealing with CTE. And it's tough to say if it would have changed anything, but just to know that his issues would have been acknowledged by the WWE and his employer, it would have pretty sure it would have helped him out, and him understanding that it is someone that's in his corner and that's there for him. On that note, I want to say one thing and I'm gonna get on out of here. Chris Benoit was a 40-year-old man, and he had the brain of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient. Let that sink in for a while. On that note, I've been Sean Mack, and this is Death After Sports. Chris Benoit.